Hello, everyone. How are you? So first, I am Argentinian. Sorry for my accent. It's the only accent that I have. If you don't understand something, just ask me. I'm happy to repeat. Um, when I speak at events, Americans say to me that I have a cute accent. I think you are just too generous. So, but anyway, happy to receive questions in the middle of the presentation, after the presentation. This experience for me is a very good learning experience, hearing from you as well. So please share your own examples. So yeah, I'm here to talk about mobile, not surprising. I spent the last 4 years and a half at Google working for mobile, first in Latin America and recently based in New York. So basically, I'm here to talk about mobile because it's crucial for Google, but it's crucial for Google because it's crucial for your businesses. It's crucial for our clients. It's crucial for the advertisers in general. And I think we can all agree that mobile is crucial, but what we are not seeing, or when I see into the data, I am surprised is that even though consumers and users are spending more and more time on mobile, advertisers are yet not paying attention on mobile or not paying attention with the urgency they should. So we are going to explore a little bit about mobile behavior in general, and then some tips about how to succeed in mobile that in general we see in our customers good examples. So let's start with sharing an experiment that we did last year. We asked both men and women which are the objects that they would never leave home with them, or they would come back home to pick them up in case they forgot them. And the findings that we hear there were that the objects that they mentioned, they wanted to come back for them, not because of the utility of that particular item, but because of the meaning of that object or item. So one of the most mentioned objects was, of course, a wallet. A wallet not because you can pay things with your wallet, but a wallet because it means security, it means safety. Other object that many people mentioned were the keys of your house, because the keys mean the possibility of coming back to a warm place, to family, is your heritage. Many people answered, many women answered lipstick, because lipstick gives you confidence. Many men answer they wouldn't leave home without a watch, because a watch is a synonym of status. So it's something that they would come back home and pick it up. But what everybody mentioned they would never leave home with is a mobile device, the phone. And why mobile is so important for us? What is the value that mobile is bringing us? Mobile today is our bank. We can make payments, we can see our account, we can make transfer, we can buy and sell stocks. Mobile is our transportation. We can ask for cabs, Uber, our maps, our GPS. We can see how to reach from point A in a city to point B with all the different transportation options. Mobile is our agenda. We have all the phone numbers and details of our loved ones. We can call mom in Buenos Aires only with one click, and she will be very happy with that. We have the messages of our loved ones, of our lovers. We have our entertainment, news, videos, games, everything in one device. We have our work or personal email, our messages. We have our memories, our moments with our friends, our pictures. And most importantly, we have our secrets, our most intimate secrets in one device. So mobile has become almost an extension of our body. We have with our mobile probably the most intimate relationship that we never had with any other device. So let's do a live experiment. Everybody take out your phones, please. Everybody unlock the phone. And everybody will open the pictures, the album. And now, please give the phone to the person in your left. What a moment, huh? Thanks God nobody's here with me on stage. So, how do you feel? So yes, mobile is where we keep our deepest secrets, those that we know that we have there. So how long does it take for an average person to report a lost wallet in the States? How, how long do you think it takes to report a lost wallet? Someone want to risk? It takes 26 hours, more or less. How long does it take to report a lost phone? 68 minutes on average. We ask how many people would live without toothbrush for a week rather than the mobile device. 46%. So we all need to go to the shrink now. We have 4.3 births per second, versus 45 smartphone sales per second in America. And we even invented a term for that, nomophobia. It's this fear of being without your phone, to forget it at home and running to get it back. So mobile is changing our behavior, and it's changing it fast. So again, the question is why, if mobile is changing our behavior, advertisers in general are not changing how they do advertising. I mean, I've seen large advertisers, small advertisers, medium advertisers, they are still treating mobile as they treat desktop. And these are two very different devices. So let's see a video that will introduce us to the next concept.
Yogasanas for morning.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इसके अंदर बहुत सारी
Okay, so this video introduces us to a concept that I really like. It's called micro moments, and we use it a lot. So this is an example that we don't go online, we live online. We live online with our phone next to us all the time, many times per day. Do you know how many times on average Americans reach out to their phone per day? Any guess? How many? 100? You? How many? 170. Well, it's in the middle of both. On average, 150 times per day, we reach our phone. To call someone, to pick up a phone, to make a reservation, to watch a video, to post on social network, whatever. On average, 150 times per day. So we definitely live online all day, all time. So there are a lot of moments where we could reach our users on mobile. Many moments, 150 times per day, we could be there while they are doing something with the mobile device. But there are some moments that are more important than others. There are some moments like texting, reading, posting, which are difficult maybe to reach in that particular moment, but there are many other moments like find a branch place, watch a movie, uh, look up for mortgage rates, where we should definitely be there because are moments where we will be able to reach our users and our consumers. So the moments that really matters are those moments where the decision is being made, a moment where a need to be met, and those are what we call micro moments. Is where content, immediacy, and intent are all are the three of them together. So those are the macro moments where we should really be focusing on, and you should be there with the right message at the right time for the right user. And we are going to focus on that later. So let's see another video of an example of a micro moment that I found very revealing.
I just conducted a search on what medicine is best for a fever sore.
So you're standing in the aisle at Rite Aid, you've got an array of options in front of you. Take me back to that moment. What happened?
I see a $20 one and the tube is this big. And then I see a $5 one and the tube is like this big. And I said, there's gotta be a difference and I gotta find out. I came up with a website that's called healthusanews.com and I clicked on that and it said that out of all the ones like Abreva, Anbesol, and Herpesonel and Campofinique, that Abreva is the best one because it helps get rid of it the quickest. I'm a bartender and a server at my job. I just know that it's not attractive when you're serving people like, cod imperial and salmon. So this is something I needed to get rid of as soon as possible and to make myself, feel a little bit more confident. Turns out that I will go with the Abreva even though it's $20.99 for a tube this big, unfortunately. But it was worth it, and I'm glad that I did it, because it went away very quickly.
Had you not had the phone with you, how would you have made the same decision?
I probably would have bought the cheaper one.
Well, you look great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, fever sore free.
So this is an example of a micro moment, full of intent, where someone is looking actively for something. She saw an ad and she ended up buying a product that is 4 times the price of another product for the same volume size. Another example, my example. So every Thursday, I like to go to have dinner with my friends. I don't make reservation until the very last moment. So I take my phone and there, 5:30 every Thursday, I click on a different ad of a different restaurant because I was looking something that particular moment and the ad appeared just in the right moment, in the right time for me with the right message. So let's go back in time a little bit. Let's go to 2009, where we saw how users started to spend a lot of time on the internet compared to the more traditional media, 28%, but still the investment on digital was much more smaller than that the time or that the spend on time on that media. And I would say that the same is happening in mobile. When I go and I see the data of our advertisers, what I see today is something very similar to this. I see that people is spending 24% of their time in mobile, while only 8% of the dollars that go to advertising goes to mobile. So there is a huge opportunity and a huge gap. Yeah. So many advertisers are losing a big opportunity there. A lot of clicks, a lot of conversions, a lot of sales. And when I speak with them, this is what I see. I see that everybody cares about mobile. Yes, mobile is big, super big. But there is only one person that is digging there behind fighting for mobile, looking into the data, and the rest look at him and what is he doing? And this is something that it's time to change, and it's time to change now. If businesses want to stay in business for the next 4 or 5 years, they need to start tackling the mobile issue because it's where the users are today and where they will be in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And we are even seeing this at Google. Last year, this is the same webpage that Larry shared before on the slide. 50%, we have more than 50% of the search queries coming from mobile compared to desktop, and twice in growth of every queries that has the word near me. So people are looking from mobile devices very fast and all the time. So let's go now to 3 strategies or 3 main 3 main pillars that we always need to focus to succeed in mobile. Offer a credible experience in mobile, have relevant advertising, and do insightful measurement. Yeah? Any doubts or fire? Everything okay? Okay. So, incredible experience. We need to offer seamless experience in mobile. I know it's expensive to have a mobile site. I know it is an effort to have maybe 2 different versions of a desktop site and a mobile site, but it pays off. It's where our users are spending the time and where we are seeing the most or the most of the growth of the conversion from. So here we can see how having a poor mobile site with a score of less than 60 versus a good mobile site with a score of more than 60, and how the mobile conversion rate changed from a poor site to a good site. Conversion rate means conversions divided by clicks. Yeah, so we see how 140% increase from a poor site to a good site, and we can see the same in CPS, how it decreases from a not mobile site, from a not mobile friendly site to a friendly mobile site, how it changes and how it impacts the performance. There are 3 main things to offer a seamless experience in mobile: content, speed, and design. Let's go quickly into this. Content. A user will leave your page if the consumer intent is separate, is not correlated with the web page purpose. They will only stay in your site if both things are together. I've seen many times customers that are designing a mobile site as a copy or trying to replicate the desktop site. Mistake. That is never going to work. When you are designing your mobile site, sit down, think which is the main goal that you want. Do you want calls? Do you want online sales? Do you want in-store? Do you want to drive people into your store, into your physical store? Do you want leads? Think which is the main objective and then design the site based on that goal. Anything else? Speed. So we did this survey and we found that when we were asking or testing the same site with different load durations, we saw that, of course, between 1 and 2 seconds, that is a sweet spot, is where people feels better. But it's not only about feelings, it's how these sites perform. So the same site that loads in 15 seconds versus 7 versus 4 versus 2 seconds, we can see here on average, which is the increment on conversion. That's a lot. That's 30% more of sales only by having a faster site. So speed is important. When we ask what do people don't like when they are browsing from mobile device, speed comes first. Yeah. And at Google, we care a lot. In every search, we show how long the search took to load. And we have a very simple interface. The search engine is very simple, not because we are minimalistic, only because we know that speed matters. And we want the searches and the results to reach as fast as possible to the users. So again, 2 seconds might be a sweet spot, but there are a lot of things that we cannot control, like 3G connections or bad signal. So aim for 1 second. That is the goal. Aim for 1 second, then there are things that we cannot control, and that will add time in different locations, geographies, buildings, etc. The third one, design and functionality. We ran another study. We ran it last year, and we had like 120 hours of interviews of people going through different sites and seeing and measuring performance. So we came into a set of principles that we have, and we have them online, of which are the 25 mobile principles that every mobile site should comply to be closer to perfection. And these are the 25 principles. I don't want to go one by one, but I guess you will have this presentation, and this is online already. So these are 25 principles from different sections of the site: homepage navigation, site search, e-commerce, forms, and usability, that are the minimum to be sure that we are offering a good design and a good flow, a good user experience for the consumers that go to our mobile site. When I started at Google 5 years ago, our CEO, that is not the same that we have today, were always talking about mobile first. Everything that we design should be mobile first. Let's focus on mobile first. It has become so important that now Larry Page always says it's mobile only. Everything you do should be mobile only. And then we will see if we adapt it for desktop or not. But we are living in a mobile-only world today. So it's time to start thinking and doing advertising mobile-only sometimes. Let's go to a second point, relevant advertising. So I'm going to go through basic recommendations or basic solutions that we have for different advertising goals. Please ask me if I give for granted some things that you might not know. So make sure that you're offering the right ad format, the right solution, the right targeting, depending on your goal. Your goal on mobile can be driving phone calls, driving sales, driving online forms, taking people to a physical store. So let's go to some generics. Capture all searches, including all keywords that you use for desktop, use them for mobile as well. Make sure that you are appearing on the top of the Google page, because as you know, we only show 2 ads on mobile. When we see like the ads on the 3rd and 4th position that are on the 2nd page, we see very few clicks. So make sure you're appearing on the top on mobile. There are many different ads for different objectives and goals. Standard and dynamic image ads, standard and dynamic text ads, Lightbox ads, TrueView in YouTube, Gmail sponsor promotion. So these are sort of new or not new, but not the regular text ad. Make sure that you are using all of them and you are reaching your audience with different assets that sometimes might work. Depending on your business, one might work better than others. Make sure to use extensions. We have the callout extensions. So in that callout extension, you can show your users your competitive advantage. We have free shipping. We deliver on weekends. We deliver in 2 days. We have a 20% sale today. Use it. Use the reviews extensions, where you can put third-party reviewers about your business and quote them there directly on the ad. Reviews matter and matter a lot. As Larry mentioned before as well, use remarketing lists for search ads. This is the type of remarketing that when someone went to your webpage, you will be able to bid higher for those users on mobile or in desktop. So if someone already went to your site, it means that he is already interested. So you can higher the bid a little bit for these users that already show interest in the past. And we can see here how remarketing leads for search ads brings twice as click-through rate and 3 times conversion rate. So this is very, very powerful. Use site links. It increases CTR in 10 to 20% and gives you more space on a tiny screen as the mobile. So the bigger your ad, the better. As simple as that. Use shopping ads. You will have images, prices. It is much more compelling. So make sure if you are selling online, make sure to have shopping ads on mobile as well. And the last one, measure. It is measuring your mobile performance is as important as having a good app or a good mobile site. It is true that in some way mobile broke our measurement because we always said that in the digital area, yes, in the digital area, we can give you 100% confidence of our measurement. We know exactly what your customers are doing, the clicks, the conversions that we are bringing. On the other side of the scope, we had traditional media like TV, billboards that they were estimating everything. And then mobile started to grow. And yes, and it is still here. It is almost 100%, but still there are some conversions that we lose in the middle. And which conversions I am mentioning, for example, those conversions that might start in a mobile device and they finish in a desktop. These are conversions that maybe before we couldn't measure, and with some changes that we did in Google recently, we are now able to measure. I will share that now. I'm going to repeat this again because this is important. Which are the conversions that we might be losing are conversions that maybe we start a query or research in mobile, we click on another mobile, we go to a web page, we don't convert in that moment. We go later at home or at work in our desktop, we go directly to the site and we convert there. That conversion used to be lost. Yeah. Now with some changes that we did, we are able to measure all those conversions. So, important for measuring for mobile. Multi-channel, use the multi-channel funnels in analytics to capture those. And in cross-device, there are these sort of conversions that are starting in mobile and finishing desktop, starting in desktop, finishing on mobile. Make sure that you are counting the cross-device conversions in AdWords. It's just clicking a box and you will be able to count all those conversions. And this is a typical example because mobile is assisting all those conversions that are happening in desktop. When you have a higher conversion rate in desktop than mobile, maybe it's not even because you have a bad mobile site. Maybe it is because people are researching in mobile and finishing the conversion in desktop. So desktop is taking all the credit that should be shared with mobile. So here we have an example. Our mobile display campaign generated 40 conversions, but contributed to 80 conversions that occurred on other devices. Make the test, turn off your mobile advertising, and you will see how your desktop conversions start to drop as well. Because we are doing all the research, we are almost approaching to the point of purchase in a mobile, and then we finish in another device. So again, we have the cross-device conversions, and then for some advertisers that is more complicated, you have user ID in analytics, but you need to request a login for your users in your site, which is not the most common case, but that is another solution that you could try. So yes, measuring mobile is difficult because in general, we are measuring last click conversions. But there are so many other actions that we have to start thinking about how we are going to measure. How are we going to measure store visits? How are we going to measure Mobile commerce, how we're going to measure calls. Are we using call as conversion? That is another product that we have to take the calls that we receive as conversions. Are we measuring generation lead? So these are all things that I encourage you to sit down and think, how are we measuring all the conversions that are happening on mobile? Are we measuring only last click conversions, or are we measuring all the impact of mobile? Calls, visit to store, site traffic, etc., etc., etc. So as a summary, the main 3 areas or pillars that we talk about: have a seamless experience in mobile, a good mobile site, a good app, have relevant advertising with the right format on the right time for the right audience, and make sure that you are having insightful measurement and you are measuring everything to give mobile the credit it deserves. With that, I'm done. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Questions for Roman?
Yes.
I'll actually start here, and then Paul will come over there.
Okay.
Hi, just a question about how you see this difference for B2B intent versus B2C intent as it affects mobile, given that business to business seems to be done more. You would think it would be done more on a desktop, but do you see differences, and what are those differences?
Yeah, so it is true that there are differences in verticals. If you go to travel or retail, you will see that mobile is probably today 70% of your traffic. If you go to other verticals like, I don't know, finance, you might have a little bit less. But is this happening across the board? The growth of mobile is happening in every single category, even business to business. And even if today is not, if not more than 50% of your, if not more than 50% of your traffic is mobile, it will happen next year or the year after. So it's something that you should get ready, depending in the vertical.
There's
Yes.
a question in the middle.
How accurate can you claim the estimated cross-device tracking numbers
Good question. So we did some changes 3 months ago, more or less. And right now, if we show cross-device conversions, if we show a number, we are more than 95% sure that that cross-device conversions are certain, and it's that number that we are showing. If we don't show any increment, it's because we cannot estimate and we are not sure. And the 95% number is higher than our competitors. And sometimes many agencies are claiming that it's too conservative. I mean, they would like us to lower the threshold so they could show more cross-device, but as we put the bar so high, sometimes we are not showing anything.
Any other questions? Yes, here.
When are consumers' concerns about privacy going to start impacting our ability to measure what they're doing on their mobile devices?
So Google has, as a first concern, privacy. Nothing that we do invades privacy. Everything, all the numbers that we get are gathered in big numbers. There are many developments that we could do that we don't do them because we know that it could generate some sort of friction with privacy. So everything, for example, for cross-device, everything that we do is as a cookie level. We don't know which is the user, which is the device. So yeah, I mean, I can ensure that privacy is top of mind, top of priority, and probably is, I mean, we have the technical and the technology to do a lot of things, and we don't do the big majority of that for privacy.
Other questions? All right, let's give it up for Roman. Thank you, Roman.
Thank you.